G'day team. Today's fishing hasn't lived up to expectations, so it's time to do a little brief tackle tips with Loza. And this time it's about your second biggest expense when it comes to kayak fishing, and it's really your most important one. That's your electronics. Not so much the fish finder, you can do without that, but that's a big ticket item. But it's safety gear and how I look after all the electronics that I have on board. So the only time I'm ever going to use this is when I'm in the shit and I'm in the water. So this has got to be attached to your body. So I like to keep it in good condition. It's got a little carry case, you can see it's in mint condition. But it lives inside this dry bag. You see some people have that attached to their vest, and that's all good, they've got it on them, but is it going to work when you need it to work? Yeah, like a lot of these things are IP rated, but they're not really made for submersion or getting wet a lot, so it's a lot of value tied up. One of these PLBs is over $500, so you want to make sure it lasts and it's going to work when you need it. You see, it's pretty hard to put back in, but it's not hard to get out. So for me, that keeps it in a nice safe place. It's on my body. If I fall in the water, all the flotation in this vest is at the front. I'll be on my back like that. It's going to be easy for me to get it without panicking. It's your VHF. You'll notice that my VHF is kept in a dry pouch, and there's a reason for that. When I first started kayak fishing, I used to have this just attached to the vest or in a pocket, and when I'd go back through the surf, and then the odd time when I'd get tipped out and do a turtle, my VHF was getting really wet, and I was pretty much writing off a VHF every year to 18 months. They'd be toast from the salt. So I'm not prepared to do that anymore. Once I found these and started using these covers, I couldn't even tell you how old this one is. That's probably 4 years old, and my other one that I've got is older than that, so it saves me a lot of money. The VHF is probably a $300 item. The protection's around $50, but it's well worth it. You get a lot more years out of your gear. One thing to watch with the protection, over time these will wear out and you'll start to get holes in it, and you just got to make sure you've got another spare one and you replace that to keep your VHF in pristine condition. Right, the other one is the big ticket item. It's the fish finder. I've got 3 different fish finders. One's a cheap $400 to $500 one. This one here was probably around that $1,600. I don't want it to die within a few years of owning it. So for me, it's keeping it protected when I go through the surf. So the best way of doing that is a fish finder cover that actually protects the electronics, the plugs at the back, but also keeps your screen nice and clean, so that when you get home you're not having to drown your fish finder in fresh water just to try to get it looking good again. Fish finder cover is brilliant. It does everything that I want from it, and that's how I've designed it. A lot of other ones on the market are either a visor, which doesn't protect the screen, or they have issues with usability where they might have a floppy hood or fog up. So this one I've especially designed for my own use and how I fish, especially going through the surf. So even when I go through the surf and this gets drowned on the way out, often when I get back to shore, it's still going to be pristine underneath. Even if I do a turtle and flip over, it's still giving it a bit of protection, so we minimise the damage on the fish finder. Come on, Rod, the fishing is shit. GoPros. Notice that I do have quite a few GoPros, but I've got leashes, so these are attached to the kayak, so if the rail blazer fitting was to come out, I've still got this connected. And you'll notice I come up here, I've got the safety string crimped around the bolt for the GoPro, and that gives me another layer of protection. If this happened to pop off here and the whole end piece comes out, and I've had that happen even just walking down to the beach, everything's still connected. So I've tried to minimise all the different ways that a camera can come loose and I can lose the camera. Hopefully that's helped you guys. Look after the electronics, they're a big investment. As I said, in this case you're probably looking at $2,500 plus the cameras, so yeah, no, there'd be as much money tied up in electronics on this kayak than what I use is what my kayak and paddle and everything's worth. So look after it, guys. Make sure they last.